Hello movie lovers. Today I'm going to explain a 2000 war action drama film titled Bang Rajan, so friends, get ready for spoiler ahead. In 1765, under the command of the new Burmese king, an army of warriors sets out to attack Ayutthaya, the previous capital of Thailand. However, while en route, the army faces a challenge they'd never anticipated in the village of Bang Rajan, where men and women take up arms against the invaders. Nai then emerges as the leader in battle, but after he's injured, Nai Jan steps up to take control, while the other villagers contribute to the effort. This time I want to tell you a film of struggle against colonialism where this film is a true story or historical story. Let's start without lingering. Let's just review the plot of the film so that we know that the story of the film opens by showing a war preparation from a village called Bachur Aden as well as being the title of this film. Several young men led by a chairman named Nai Chan were watching an area and preparing for an attack from Burma. Toten asked doubtfully with one of the young men whether they would pass this road. The young man was confident because he would win as before. Wotan also invited some people to change locations and start attacking when the enemy was seen. Sure enough, the enemy in sight was immediately shot and a war began between Bang Raja fighters and the Burmese. They shot each other, archery, speared, and slashed at each other. The royal fighters continued to push back the Burmese even though the rain did not dampen their spirits. Some of Bang Raja's fighters disguised themselves and hid behind mud and trees. It turned out to be quite effective. The commander from Burma was wounded and they decided to retreat. When he reached Burma, he was informed that the kingdom was hiding and making camp in the middle of the forest. The information was used by the Burmese to immediately attack the royal party in the forest. Sure enough, without preparation and lack of supervision, Bang Raja fighters were attacked so that farmers as Bang commanders were attacked and injured. Soon the royal party retreated and returned to Bang Rajan village to treat the wounds of Pota and other soldiers. Singh moved to Bang Raja village which looked panicked. The women immediately helped the husbands or members and were immediately treated there. The city immediately deliberated with the members because he felt that he should immediately have a replacement because it was impossible for him to lead with such an injury. One of the young men proposed a name, namely Nua, or we can call it Azean, where he is currently in the middle of the forest with other fighters and he is not from Bang Raja village. Long story short, Bang Raja's messenger met his end. At first, they were suspected of being the Burmese side, but judging by the appearance and they introduced themselves that they were from Bang Raja, he needed help. Ajian believed and went to Bang Raja village. Arriving at the village, Aji was given a mandate from the forest to continue Bang Raja's struggle and he was entrusted as a commander because he believed he would be a strong and good leader. He agreed. He began to make a new plan. The next scene shows a group of drunks in the village. Bang Raja was mocking Ivan's abilities. Here he knew one of the most famous drunks. His name was Itong. Turning to Ivan, he was seen watching the area above the fortress early in the morning. Suddenly he remembered a glimpse of his past where his wife died because she was killed during the war. As a commander, he conducted deliberations with the youths. He plans to create a group with different tasks to be more effective. Some groups were assigned to attack Burma, others were assigned to guard the village of Bang Raja so that when there was an attack, they were ready. In addition, the royal side also took the initiative to send a letter to the kingdom also to ask for help. The next day, the plan was immediately carried out. There was an atmosphere in the village. The wives let go of their husbands struggling and gave provisions. Unfortunately, they received information that the Ayutthaya kingdom refused to provide assistance. So they were determined to fight alone to defend their territory and not become slaves to Burma. A Yang came to Itong. He revealed that Itong's ability to use weapons is quite good. Why doesn't Itong want to teach other young men and join forces to fight together? Or refused a Yang's request to teach weapons, but he still wanted to join? To bring out like a king when discussing decisions. There are also those who refuse and then they are attacked by the teacher, both giving the idea that why there is no kingdom to attack first and do not have to wait for help. Some agreed and others doubted. The Sultan gave motivation to Ajabade that he was able to carry out the mandate and he was strong enough and would become a ruler. But at this time, There was actually a look on Anjani's doubtful face. The next day the royal village began to lack foodstuffs and they had to increase stocks. Harvesting was done by the women in the fields. In this film there is an element of romance between a husband and wife, Ida and Sai, where she was pregnant but she hides it from her husband for fear that things will happen that are not desirable. Moreover, it is still in a state of war. Suddenly they got information that the Burmese had begun to attack. They planned to hide in the hills to prevent the Burmese from entering the village. As they hid, they saw women and children being arrested. One of the young men was furious and wanted to attack immediately, but was prevented until a mother and son were tortured by the soldiers. The kingdom acted. War was inevitable even though the kingdom won, accidentally injuring one of the proud young men to death, which made him locked up as punishment. Shortly back in the village, Aiden approached his wife. He already knew that his wife was pregnant. He comforted his wife, but she feared Ida would die in battle. He said that if in the next life he wants to be this couple again and hopes that there will be children in his family in the future. The story continues. The kingdom would attack Burma first, agreeing to the ideas of Idam and Bohari. They began their journey down the river in guerrilla. However, at the border there is a group of suspicious people riding ox carts. It turned out to be true. They were intruders from Burma. At that time, wars began from various places in a kingdom that were heavily attacked, burned, and many citizens died. The attack came to an end. The kingdom won, but many of its citizens died. One of the soldiers admitted his mistake because he was not at his post to watch around, but instead advised the Burmese to kill the Burmese commander. Arguments between young people are inevitable because some of them do not accept their family members dying. The next day, a large funeral ceremony was held in the village. The corpses of the corpses were piled up and burned together. The driver's license continues where Ajarn comes to Ipong. He envied Ipong for not having to take responsibility for other people's lives. Elsewhere, the Burmese side began to plan something to attack. And the Burmese kingdom is also cooperating and seeking information about the kingdom Bang. Sure enough, the Burmese quietly kidnapped the women and children, then killed and their bodies hung from trees as a warning to Bang Raja to surrender and submit among the victims. It turned out that there was that wife and child, and it made Itong shaken. It can't do anything. Ajam knows Itong's feelings because he has felt them. The people in the kingdom began to work hand in hand and were determined to prepare carefully for the next war. Starting from making cannons, adding weapons, and blessings for fighters. The next day, the day of the war began. Warriors and kings began to monitor the arrival of the Burmese from ignorance. It turns out that there are so many of them. But this did not dampen the spirit of warriors and kings, even women joined the war. The battle was fierce. Atong also led the flying troops and Ajeng led in front of him. At the beginning of the struggle, Bang Rajan looked very shrewd. However, outnumbered, one by one fighters fell tragically. The thing that I found interesting was that Ateng was immune to sharp weapons. Until the Burmese were surprised and they changed their plan, which was to attack it by beating. Sure enough, Ideng collapsed and died. At the end of the war lived Aizen. He was arrowed at the same time, but still advanced and undaunted. Until finally he was cut dead. The house won the battle and the diligent fighters were not left in the slightest. The Burmese commander was amazed at the persistence of the Jins. They chose to die in their homeland rather than become house slaves. And that's what makes them strong to date, where Burma won after 8 losses when attacking Bang Raja. The movie was over at that time. Pretty exciting, right? Kong, yes. Although this movie is an old movie, let alone many movies that look real and horrifying like Real War. The patriotic spirit of Bang diligent supporters is quite thumbs up. It can be an example that they are solid and love the motherland no matter what. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching guys.